I'm glad you could be here. Before we get started, I really want to emphasize again to keep the victims and the family members in our prayers as they go forward with the funerals that are coming up this weekend, and just ask that everybody keep them in their prayers. Over the last week and a half, Upshur County has been really turned upside down with this tragic event. I know many citizens have been on edge about what has happened, and concerns about their safety has been the utmost concern of ours, and we've been working on this very diligently for the last over a week and a half since it occurred. We are here this morning to tell you that last night at approximately 1:30 Central Time, capital murder suspect Alvin Charles McKnight Jr. was taken into custody in San Bernardino, California by the San Bernardino Police Department. Tuesday evening, we had received information that he was possibly getting on a bus and heading west. As we worked that information, it enabled investigators. We were able to pinpoint a location on a westbound bus traveling from Abilene, Texas to San Bernardino, California. While we were still following information and developing leads and doing things, we also had concerns over the well-being of the passengers on the bus. So the decision was made that we were going to go ahead and allow the bus to continue on as we tracked Mr. McKnight, and let it go on all the way to San Bernardino, California, before we made contact. During the time yesterday, starting very early in the morning, we were actually in contact with San Bernardino Police Department, passing our information on to them, and we stayed in contact with them continuously until the operation was completed their time around 9:30 at the bus station, where he was apprehended once he exited the bus, and we had confirmation that he was in custody at that time. During the investigation, we had found a new phone number which was used to enable us to track him real time and where he was going. Other methods were also used during this surveillance period that we used to ensure that he continued to stay on the bus until he reached his final destination. Investigators, we didn't track his bus until he got to San Bernardino, and again, that was when the takedown team there with San Bernardino actually took him into custody, and we got confirmation that he was there. At this time, I'd like to take a special thanks to the folks that actually helped us tremendously with this investigation, because as you know, we are a rural law enforcement agency with limited resources, and we definitely reached out and made contact with folks that actually bent over backwards to help us early in the investigation and throughout its entirety to a successful conclusion last night in San Bernardino, California. I'd like to give a special thanks out to the Texas Department of Public Safety Special Investigations Division, the CID group, the Texas Rangers, the U.S. Marshal's Office, the Longview Police Department, who very early in the investigation reached out to us with any resources that they had available to them to assist us in the investigation, as well as the Department of Public Safety pretty much was in contact with us shortly after the investigation started. Would also like to reach out to the Gladewater Police Department, who assisted us and has been assisting us since the night of the investigation, where they actually located the suspect's vehicle, and we've been pushing out information to them and back and forth to keep them in the loop on what was going on. A special thanks for the hardworking folks of the Upshur County CID Division. They've been working tirelessly for this since this happened, and we haven't had much sleep around here, and we've been working very hard. Also to my communications section, when this lead did come into us, they were They were very involved, actually took self-initiative to develop some leads on their own and pass that information on, which actually helped to confirm information that we had already had that actually helped us out. Another big thanks is to the citizens of this county that also provided tips and information to us that assisted us in this investigation to bring it to our conclusion today. While I'm here, I'm going to allow Mr. Byrd to say a few things, and then I'll be able to take some questions. Mr. Byrd.
Thank everyone for being here today. There is too many to name individually that have been working on this, but there are many. It's good to have relationships with law enforcement divisions outside of your county. I'm thankful that we have those good working relationships and people are willing to work. Now, there's been a lot of time that's been put into apprehending this defendant. He is now in custody. Make no mistake, justice will be served in this case, and that time and day is coming. There's a lot of steps that must take place legally in order to bring him from California back to Texas, but we will immediately begin working on those steps to bring him back safely to Upshur County and the Upshur County Jail. He will not be getting out of jail, and we will be looking forward to a day in court. And for the victims, you put so much into apprehending. Let us all pray and think about those that have lost people they care about and love. Life can end very quickly, and we see that every day in law enforcement, and that certainly happened on November the 5th, but we're here ready to stand in and ready to see that justice is done. Thank everyone for being here, all these men and women that have worked tirelessly to track him. Some that aren't in this room today with us, they have worked hard. I want to thank Sheriff Webb. I want to thank his office, his CID division, Rob Bowen, the lead investigator that's standing behind us this morning, and all those that have assisted and worked. And we'll look forward to the day coming forward to having him back in Upshur County. Thank you.
I also want to, I didn't get to cover this one. A big thanks is also out to our brothers in blue that are out in California. Without their cooperation and what they did last night, when we passed the information on to them, actually went into harm's way to actually catch this person so we can bring that individual back here to our county to stand trial. A big thanks to the San Bernardino Police Department for what they've done for us. Any questions?
Sheriff Webb, the family's reaction when you notified them this morning of this capture?
I believe that everybody is going to be, they are excited about this and relieved that this has happened.
Sheriff, do we know if he had contact with anybody in California, any friends or family he was trying to make it to, or just trying to get as far away as possible?
That's something that I can't discuss exactly why he was going to California. The information that I can give you is that we knew that he was going to California, and that is where we caught him.
Sheriff, the big net that y'all had to throw out to capture him from East Texas all the way to California, and all the agencies involved, some agencies you never haven't worked with before, weren't familiar with how everybody was able to get together on one accord and be able to track him and everything. Tell us about that.
Last night, we were able to track him. We were actually in a live group together, everybody that was involved in the operation. So we had real-time intelligence that was given out to all the agencies that were participating in this operation, and that's how it was able to come to such a success last night.
Sheriff, you mentioned that you said 1:30 last night. You said something about 9 o'clock California time. Of course, it's a couple hours, I think, behind ours. What was it? 1:30?
No, it was
That's a correction. That'll be 11:30.
11:30 our time.
11:30 our time, about 9:30 their time.
About 9:30 their time. And did he resist arrest, or was it peaceful?
It was peaceful.
Okay.
He thanks the community for the tips they gave. How important were those tips?
Anytime that you develop a relationship with a community like we've been able to do, that is very important. One of the things is the community needs to trust their law enforcement agencies, and know that when they put out information to us that we're going to take it seriously and we're going to follow it up. We have mounds of tips that have come in over this last week and a half, and mounds of digital data that we have been able to actually compile to help us get this person into custody. That we're going to have to slow down a little bit. We're going to have to look at everything and go piece by piece and put the best case together that we can so we can get it over to Mr. Byrd for his prosecution.
Billy, I guess this question should be addressed to you. I guess what you were talking about steps involves extradition from California, right?
Yes. There's legal processes that we have to go through to extradite an individual out of state back to Texas.
Do you have any idea when he might be returned here?
I couldn't comment on that at this time. It will take several weeks in order for this to be accomplished, though.
For the extradition?
Yes.
Okay, and where, Sheriff, is he currently incarcerated?
He is currently in San Bernardino County Jail. Is that right?
That's correct.
Where's Chief Table?
San Bernardino County Sheriff.
Yeah, that's where he's
Has
at.
a bond been set on him out there?
Negative.
My question is for Mr. Byrd. Mr. Byrd, even though it's still early, and it's a double murder case, will the death penalty be something that will be on the table, or is it still too early to decide?
Well, I appreciate the question. I anticipated a question like that. While I already know the answer to that question, I think ethically and responsibly, we need to have him back in Upshur County. He needs counsel appointed, and then we will make the announcements about those matters at a future time.
Yeah, go ahead.
But let me add one other thing. There's one family member that was incarcerated Saturday that we did the warrant on. Make no mistake, we believe there's other people that have been involved, and rest assured, every person, no matter what rock they're hiding under, it will be turned over, and every person that helped, assisted in any way, I've made clear to Sheriff Webb, which he agrees with completely, we are going to bring them, and we will, and I will prosecute each and every one of those people.
Sheriff Webb, even though y'all have him in custody, there's still a lot of legwork that y'all still continue to have to do with this investigation to continue to tighten up the case to make it more presentable to the DA's office for the charges?
Yes, it is. We're fixing to go back to work and start compiling the evidence that we have, and it's going to be very time-consuming and intensive and tedious work that we're fixing to now bite off on and take off.
Was he arrested at a bus station out there in San Bernardino?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So in other words, as soon as he got out off the bus, they got him?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? One last thing, one thing is the family can now start their grieving process and try to move forward in this. Keep them in their prayers. For the citizens of Upshur County, try to rest a little bit easier now that this person that has terrorized our county for the last week and a half is now in custody, and justice is going to be served in this.
Y'all have any idea where he's been all this time? Can you talk about it if you do?
We can't discuss that part of the case right now.
The murder weapon, do y'all have the murder weapon in hand, or is that something y'all still in search of?
We're still investigating that side of it, yes. Anything else? Thank y'all very much for coming. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sheriff.